Welcome to the Wealth Mindset with JD Garnier. The decisions you make today will impact people that you'll never meet. I never met my grandparents. They died before I was born. But my grandparents made two financial decisions that changed the course of my life. They bought a house and they bought life insurance. The house that my grandparents bought was a shotgun double in uptown New Orleans. It's where my mom and all my aunts and uncles grew up, and it's where I grew up. That house was enough to generate income to help take care of my parents because my grandparents never made a lot of money. It was also enough to use as collateral when my parents bought their first home. That house remains in the family today. The second decision that my grandparents made was they bought life insurance. One of those life insurance policies was also enough for my parents to use as a down payment on their first home, allowing me and my sister to move out of what was at the time a neighborhood full of crime and drugs. We were allowed to pursue our education and thrive in life because of those two financial decisions. The decisions you make today will impact people that you will never meet. The life decisions and the financial decisions that you make today will affect people that haven't been born yet. That is generational wealth. It is the transfer of value from one generation to the next. It's not just money. It's not just assets. It is the transfer of value. You're transferring three things. You're transferring value, you're transferring values, and you're transferring valuables. The first thing that you transfer is value. That's what everybody gets caught up on. That's the sum total of all of the things that you own. Your house, your cars, your bank accounts, your retirement, your investments, your stocks, your bonds, your land, your real estate. All of those things are added up and calculated, and that forms the value of your estate. Now, leaving value is extremely important, which is why we should focus on doing it responsibly. If you've ever had somebody pass away without a will, without their estate planning in order, then you know how chaotic it can be. I've seen it tear families apart. And so transferring value should be done responsibly to the next generation. See, we keep talking about how do we grow wealth, how do we close the wealth gap, but before we do any of that, we have to protect what we have. And that starts with understanding our value, making sure that all of our things are in order, making sure that our estate planning is in order, making sure that our beneficiaries are in order. Simple things that can be the difference in transferring your value responsibly and costing your family thousands and thousands of dollars in lawyer fees, in taxes, and in time just to get access to assets. In addition to that, if you don't do things properly, the people that you may intend to benefit from your assets may not benefit. And so the first thing that you are transferring is value. And it needs to be done responsibly. Now, the second part of generational wealth are values. I have yet to hear somebody say, I want to leave my kids all this money. I want to leave them all this wealth, but I don't want to leave them any principles by which to live. See, when we're talking about generational wealth, we have to add values, principles by which to live your life. It's not enough just to leave physical resources. It is not enough just to leave money if we are not leaving a blueprint for them to be able to be a steward of those assets and carry them forward in a better manner than we did. Easily put, if we're not leaving our children anything to live by, they're going to squander the resources. And so we should also focus on leaving a set of values and principles by which to live. That sets the tone for how they manage the assets that you leave them. And so we have to leave a set of values. What do you stand for? What do you believe in? What dictates your decisions outside of your financial resources? This is important for generational wealth because it carries the family name forward. It carries the reputation forward. It allows them to become better stewards of the resources that we leave than we were. You need to leave value. You need to leave values. And the last thing that we leave in generational wealth are the valuables. These are the things that money can't buy. These are the things that mean more than any asset that you can leave. The time, the love, the nurturing, the affection, the laughs, the memories, the things that make the physical assets that we own worth it. We have to leave the valuables. If we leave our children just financial resources without any values, without any principles by which to live, there's no appreciation for what came before them. Once that appreciation is developed, next comes a responsibility to carry the name forward, to carry the mission forward. And then when you leave the valuables, when you leave the money, the things that money cannot buy,